Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Bald Explorer Live. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live on Facebook. This is pre-recorded on YouTube, so don't try and say hello on YouTube because that's just the pre-recording. But we're live on the Bald Explorer page, and we're not in the usual studio. We are guesting, ladies and gentlemen. We are guests of the Regency Town House in Hove, Brunswick Square, Hove. I'm Richard Vobes, as you know, the Bald Explorer. But tonight we have a special feature for you. We have our one and only chef, who of course you know from the videos that we've been making recently, Paul Couchman. Hello, Paul.
Hello again.
How are you? It's lovely to see you.
Innocent.
Yes.
Nice to see you again.
We did just to let you know, we did about 5 minutes of thinking we were live, and we weren't. So we're now starting all over again. But we haven't done anything. In the background, we have Richard Suggett, Veg Grower Podcast. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Richard.
And of course, the lovely Julia. Hello, lovely Julia.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Fantastic. So tonight, this very special show. Normally when we do our filming, we do it in bits, don't we? We're sort of filming bits and we make these historic videos, and they take quite a bit of time, don't they?
They do.
Most of the day. But we've only got an hour.
Yeah.
So, Paul, historic chef, creator of marvellous things, what are you going to conjure up for us today?
Well, today we're cooking something that I cooked for our event, Dine Like a Servant, which you were both guests
We
at.
did, and that was fantastic, wasn't it? We loved it.
Yes, we did. It was fun. It was brilliant. Like he said, fantastic.
Yeah.
And so I heard that there was a pumpkin available.
Yes.
So I thought we reprised the recipe I did for Dine Like a Servant, which is pumpkin pie. So it's a recipe for me, if I just check, 1796.
1796, wow. So it's a pretty old recipe.
Pretty old recipe.
But we've tried it, we loved it. So the pumpkin, if only we knew where, it's a bit like a fairy tale, isn't it? It's a bit like a fairy tale. Where can we get a pumpkin at this time of year? Because surely pumpkins only come about just before Halloween. Let's talk to the expert, Richard Suggett. Hello, Richard.
Hello, Richard.
Yes, so pumpkins.
Pumpkins.
Got one here.
We got one here.
Yeah, bit small that one.
A bit small, that one.
Yes.
Yes.
We need a bigger one.
We do need a bigger one, but we can do that.
So tell us, pumpkins, this time of year, can we get a pumpkin this time of year?
We can. They've just coming into season. I've had a few of my listeners who have had pumpkins for a few weeks now. So, yeah, given the summer we've had, it's been a good year for pumpkins and a very early year. So we can definitely get them.
Well, we need one because the clock is ticking and we need to be making these lovely pumpkin pies, these Regency pumpkin pies in the time. So, Richard, have you got a pumpkin?
I do. One of your hands lift over.
Is it big? Julia, can you give him a hand? I'm going to sit down here and monitor and make sure we've got people. We have Richard Suggett just joined. The lovely Julia is joined. Chris Puller, Steve Blakey, Terry Wood, James Lewis, Daniel Sadler, Andy Joy. People are saying hello, good evening. David Carey, Mark Selwood, Serena Kirkham, Dave Baker, loads of people. If I don't read your name out, please don't worry too much. But here we are. Now we have Pumpkin Cam also here on our live show. Let me just quickly go to Pumpkin Cam. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. That is amazing.
Give her a whirl.
Give her. Did she do what?
The back side.
Oh, that's it.
And the front side. Very
Fantastic. Marvellous. So it's kind of over to you, really. We're just window dressers.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is cut this. I'm a bit nervous about this.
It's a big. Have you ever cut such a big pumpkin?
I haven't. No.
It's lovely. Doesn't it feel nice?
I'm so pleased with how that one looks.
Could you grab me a chopping board, Julia, from the kitchen? That would be excellent.
A chopping board.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Go for a green one, I think.
Yes. Julia's had to. We've got camera and lights and cables and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh, there we go.
I forgot there's a sneaky room here.
Sneaky room.
Oh, he can lift on his own.
Wow, look at that. So how heavy is it?
8.3 kilos.
8.3 kilos.
Not quite as big as the one I had last year, but it's certainly a good size one.
I'm going to have to go in there.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got Pumpkin Cam on.
Oh, God.
Apparently the sound is clipping.
Oh, the sound is too loud. Thank you very much. Let's just drop the sound. Thank you very much. Yeah, give us any
Shall we
feedback.
hold it? Sorry.
Yeah, sure. This is really...
Dan Thompson says, it's hang on. No, Nigel Sadler says it's Martin Snow.
Yes, we're decapitating Martin Snow. Sorry, Martin.
Fiona Cooper says she's had 2 pumpkins already this year.
Has she?
Is that
2
it?
pumpkins already?
Yeah, that's it. I'm through, I think.
Wow, look at that. There we go. How about that? There's a lot of meat in there. So
God, it is, isn't it?
it's a shame, Richard, that pumpkins. You carry on, Paul, because you're on a time. It's a shame that pumpkins are only used one day, one event of the year.
It's a big annoyance of mine. I mean, if this was in a soup, how many people do you think it would feed, Paul?
Oh gosh, 20, 25?
20, 25 people. Yeah, most people would just cut it open, stick some faces on it, stick a candle in it, and that'll be it. Which is a very, very annoying thing in my opinion. Are you alright?
It's quite that weird, isn't it?
Yeah. The seeds themselves are actually edible as well, so you don't just have to eat the flesh. I believe you can roast them and use them and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah. I've tried it. I've not had much luck with it myself, but I've got to keep experimenting with these sort of things to see how it goes.
Some are more edible than others, that's the thing. With some pumpkin seeds are more edible, it depends
Right.
on the variety of pumpkin.
Yeah, I mean this is a variety that is bred for carving, but
Carves beautifully.
the flesh is just as good.
Right, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to chop them up in manageable pieces. I'm just going to put those in a pan and boil them, basically.
You're going to pan boil them?
Yep.
Gosh.
Move these up.
So how long does it take to pan boil
20, 30 minutes?
I mean, they're such chunky bits. 20 or 30 minutes?
Yeah, not too long actually.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to grab a saucepan, I'm just going to...
So we're craftily going to manipulate time, ladies and gentlemen, in the show, because a bit like Blue Peter,
It is just like Blue Peter, yeah.
we have the John Noakes of cooking here. So although some bits may just seem like, wait, that was a bit too quick, because we have done some that we've done earlier, isn't it? That's what they
That's
say.
exactly right.
So that's really good. Gosh, that's really.
I'll take this out with me.
Hefty.
What I'm going to do, just before I leave, so I'm going to fill the pan up with water and cook them, like we said, for about 20, 30
Yeah,
minutes.
brilliant. Okay, cool. So there we go. So can you eat pumpkin raw?
I would imagine so. It's a vegetable, isn't it?
So, have a bit. Do you like pumpkin?
Actually, it's quite nice.
Is it? Oh, bit rubbery.
Well,
Mind you, I got the
you
rubbery
want
bit.
the seedier in middle. It depends.
So what would you do with the seeds? You can do stuff with the seeds, can't you?
Well, you can of course save them for next year to grow more pumpkins from.
Yep.
You can roast them, like you get pumpkin seeds that you can buy from health food shops and things like that. Or something I like to do is giving all this to my chickens.
Oh right,
They'll-
it's good
they'll
chicken
pick-
feed.
Good chicken feed. It's a natural wormer for chickens.
A natural
Wormer.
wormer.
Yeah.
What do you mean by wormer?
Basically, all animals have worms in their intestines.
Right.
This kills off the worms inside.
Oh, I see. Oh, does
So,
it?
yeah.
God, and do you think would that do it to humans if they had worms?
I don't know on humans. I know that works for chickens though.
Just look at the size of these seeds though.
They're huge, aren't
They're
they?
massive.
Yeah.
And when you get pumpkin seeds commercially, they're much smaller, aren't they?
Yeah, they basically, the pumpkin seed is what's inside.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's
This is
just
like a shell.
Oh,
Um,
right. Here we are. Let's have a
see.
look on the cam. Don't cut your hand.
Yeah.
Lovely, Julia. And there, you're on pumpkin
Just cut it
cam.
off, really.
Wow.
Can you even open that?
Well, there's
That's
the,
the flesh on the inside.
It's like a pulp.
It is. It is. It's got a skin over it as well.
Oops, one's cut on the
I think I've
floor.
crushed it.
Hey ho.
So
Right.
that's massive.
So, Paul. Sorry, I've turned into a midget because
No,
I'm
no.
I'm operating the laptop.
Let me tidy up this now.
okay. Anyway.
Let's catch up with some of these comments, Joey. What are people saying? Doesn't boiling take a lot of flavour out? Asks Dan Thompson.
Yeah, I mean, it is a good idea to steam it. I didn't. It doesn't matter too much with this recipe. You kind of don't want all the pumpkin flavour in it.
You don't want too much pumpkin
No,
flavour.
no,
Is it pumpkin naturally? Sorry,
Yeah, sure.
is it naturally a strong flavour?
I mean, I've tried both ways, and it just tempers it down by boiling it. Tempers
Right.
down the taste and makes it more palatable for pudding, which is
Right,
what we're making.
yes.
But steaming is lovely because you hold the flavour of it. And so
Right.
for some recipes, that's a really good idea.
So you would steam it more if you were making a savoury dish, perhaps?
That's right. If you wanted it to taste really pumpkin-y.
Yeah.
I don't really want it to taste pumpkin-y, not so much.
Not so much. Oh, okay, cool.
So that's why I've done it, but it's a really good point. Really
Yeah.
good point.
Okay,
One
that
question
was-
from Dan Thompson. I didn't just ask this, I hope, because I was listening, kind of. Can you roast the seeds?
Yeah, because we've done that. haven't we?
Yeah, we've done that, yeah.
Yeah, roast
That's
the
what
seeds.
we're talking about.
Oh, that's what you were talking. Yeah.
Because that
Sorry.
husky bit goes off, and then
Yeah.
you get the seed underneath, which you dry out and use as you do in pumpkin seeds that you buy. So it's the same
Yeah.
thing. I mean, it's just odd. You pay a fortune to buy those pumpkin seeds.
And yet you're chucking them away.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a lot of, it's a bit of a faff, but it's
Yeah.
worth doing.
Yeah,
It's
because if you're buying pumpkin seeds to eat, then
Yeah.
why when it's there?
I know
Yeah.
people think it's somehow different, but it isn't. It's just baking process.
Yeah.
So what have we got in the pan now? This
is by magic.
This is by magic, that
Well, you
boiling
might
process. Yes.
You
Shall
might-
we get the camera up and have a look inside?
So
It's-
imagine that 20 minutes has gone, and somehow they've reduced in size and colour, really, or changed in colour anyway.
Oh yeah, there we go. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. So they've reduced. The water is gone. With the magic of television
Yes.
or webcam streaming,
Yeah.
whatever. So there it is. So that's brilliant.
So what I'm going to do, if I can find a spoon, that's a good question. I'll find one. So I'm just going to scrape the flesh off the skin. It's a bit tricky because you end up going through it sometimes, but
Still got to be easier than doing it when before it's...
that's the good point, because usually they tell you to peel them first. I've ever peeled a pumpkin, it takes forever.
Oh right, yeah.
It's really
so
tricky.
making it into that mushy pulp.
Yeah, and you leave the skin on in this, just cut it into quarters and then just take off the skin. Makes it a lot easier. It's like, for example, when you're doing an avocado.
Yeah.
It's the same principle. It looks very similar, actually.
Doing 100 avocado.
Indeed. Yeah.
Very nice. And can you eat? You can eat the skin, can you? Once it's been boiled.
You can. I mean, I do in some recipes, not in this sort of thing. It's quite thick, but in other
Right.
squashes you can.
Yeah.
It really depends on the squash. Sometimes you get really thin ones, and
It
that's
looks
fine.
very nice. I mean, it looks like all you need to do is shove that into the pie now, but I guess you've got other things to do.
And look how thick that skin is.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny, that's gone a different colour than the one we saw earlier, hasn't it? It's got a bit darker in the boiling process. I'm sure that's what it was, just the boiling process.
That's right. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Gosh.
Okay.
That's interesting actually. You talk about the skin colour.
Yeah.
You don't see that colour skin in the shops that often, do you?
That darker colour. Let's have another
Yeah.
look. Can
Oh,
you
yeah, of
show,
course.
show the?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So that's a very dark,
It's a green,
I was
dark
going to say, it's
green.
more like watermelon
Oh, yeah.
colour, isn't it?
which is it's probably something like a Crown Prince variety, which is a pumpkin that is bred for edibility.
Okay.
And it's a different colour to the. Where was the other one? Oh, it's
Just
on the other.
underneath.
Yes.
Got some bits underneath there.
Yeah, the other one in the
Yeah.
background is the same colour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, I interrupted about the different variety.
Well, this is a thing I was going to say is that there are varieties for edible,
Yeah.
such as this. The pumpkins we buy at Halloween, they are edible still, but they are bred for carving.
Oh, I see. For size.
Size.
And
Yeah.
right, Paul is bringing some stuff over.
Some stuff that
What do you
This
guys?
looks like sugar.
Yeah, it is sugar, yeah. I mean, I'll
That-
show it. That's caster sugar.
Have you got the other?
There we go, all that way. Just normal caster sugar.
Caster sugar.
That's 2 eggs that we've beaten up.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got some double cream here as well. So
Double cream.
Yeah.
All good stuff then. Sugar, double cream.
It's all the nice stuff, isn't
Yeah,
it?
lovely. That's looking really cool.
And I've also got, just coming up, some spices.
Oh, spices. Let's have a gander at the spices.
And I've just popped, there we go, let's see where we are. Okay, so that's nutmeg. I've just popped the nutmeg, so it's grated nutmeg. I've just got the nutmeg what they call.
How long does
Yeah.
it take you to grate that much nutmeg?
Well, I didn't this time.
Did it come in a jar?
It did come in a
You
jar.
did it earlier. You did it earlier.
You can see how fine it is.
Yeah,
But you
lovely.
can. I have got the nutmeg.
That's how we do our nutmeg at home, from
Yeah.
grinding it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best way of doing it.
Yeah.
It's nicer that way.
Right.
So that's nutmeg. Then
Yeah.
I've got some ginger, some ground ginger.
Oh, lovely. How do they make ground ginger? I'm quite curious about it because when you buy it in the root.
Oh, good question. No, do you know that one?
Yes.
I don't, actually.
They dehydrate it
Right.
and then they grind it. It's as simple as that.
So it's just dried out.
Just dried
and
out.
Then, oh, so.
Yeah.
But I love the smell of ground.
Yeah.
Oh, smell that.
Lovely.
That is, it's so
Oh,
beautiful, isn't it? It's one of my favourite
And of course, this
Aromas?
one.
aromas.
So this is about 18th century spice. So this
Oh,
is
is it 18th century spice?
so it's mace, which I've used in lots of pies and things.
Mace.
It's the outer casing of nutmeg.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
right.
It's. I haven't got the bits to
The
show
actual-
you.
no.
But they're sort of like.
Little stars, aren't they?
Yeah, like, it's almost like netting. Like,
Oh, okay.
Like, yeah, and it goes around
Can I
this
smell that
thing.
then?
Of course you can, yeah.
So it's not as powerful as the ginger, but it's definitely there.
No, it's lovely. I mean, it's used in bread sauce. I mean, that's how most people know it now.
Yeah. Oh, right.
It's
And
not
called
very
mace.
used mace. It's not used for. It's not really chemical mace because people ask me.
No.
Is it a bit dangerous? It's not that sort of.
Not that sort of mace.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So
So what are you going to do then?
well, I need my kitchen implements as well.
Oh, kitchen implements, of course.
Implements.
And the great thing is, here working at the Regency Town House, you said to us when we were at dining like a servant, you constantly get people knocking on the door with bits of old historic
Yes.
implements. And I guess this is something from the Georgian period itself.
This is a much more fancy hand blender than the one we used yesterday.
Oh yes, that's right. It's a very
But
nice.
that one wouldn't melt in the pot.
I mean, go back to. I mean, so I show you. I mean,
Yeah.
all donated or donated. Everything's donated really. So we've got these lovely jelly molds here.
Jelly molds. Yeah. And the ceramic.
Yeah, the ceramic jelly molds, really thick, like I think there.
Gosh, that is thick. Yeah.
And so we've got masses and masses of them,
Wow.
all in different shapes, all donated. We've got copper pans, which were just off camera there. down
Yeah,
there. They're
copper. They're fantastic, aren't they?
Useful little frying pan.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
It's just ideal for banging on people's heads.
Love the colour of it.
It's
It's
beautiful,
up, isn't it?
And are they? Is copper good to cook with?
It conducts heat really well.
Right.
And what they used to do, because you can't actually cook on copper directly because it's a bit poisonous.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
So they line it with tin. Unfortunately, the tin there in this has gone.
Right.
So you see where all these bits of tin are.
Oh, I see. So it wouldn't normally be that colour.
On,
Yeah,
on the
Because
outside.
on the outside, yeah. Yeah, they do it closer.
Yeah.
Get it in the light.
So whenever I take photos, people keep telling me that, and I said, yes, I know.
I see.
You know, they're looking after our health, obviously.
Of course, of course.
We cook on induction now.
So we
Point
would.
to a bit of tin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there.
Do you see?
Oh yeah, that little like the spot. So the natural coppery colour wouldn't be there, but on the
Yeah.
outside where it looks beautiful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if it's hanging up ornately like you've got some of the others on the.
And you're supposed to retin them, so as it goes, you retin them, but now that's very expensive.
How would you do that? Like.
Send it off to someone who gets
Oh,
it.
send
does
it off, and they would do it,
they
wow.
tin for you. I mean, there were people in the streets behind here that would have done that
Yes.
in the time. Now it's really expensive. So
Yes, I bet.
You know, it's cheaper to get a new pan these days.
Yeah, of course.
So these are just really ornamental.
Again, another thing that causes lots of waste.
Well, it's true, of course. I mean, it's a lot of, I'll pop it back, yeah.
But you wouldn't want to melt them down, would you? You wouldn't want to get rid
Not
of it
these,
now.
no.
Not these.
Not those ones, but modern ones are just. Right, so we're
Yeah.
holding up. I'm going to look at the.
How much time have I got left?
We're 22 minutes past.
So if I put
40
the
odd
camera
minutes.
down. Okay, right, sure.
Kevin says it's like watching council workers. One does all the work while the others stand about watching. Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Nigel says Paul's doing all the work whilst the others watch. Yeah, same point. Well done, Paul. Shirley says I thought I'd missed you. Martin, so 18th century. Won't it be past its best?
Very
Thanks for
good.
that, Martin. Linda Kane says those of us who live in West Sussex have the pick of countless varieties of squashes,
Yeah.
pumpkins
Yeah, true.
at Slindon.
Yeah.
It's worth a visit up there. Philip Naylor has joined. Hello, Philip. Haven't seen you for a while. Mark Stowers says, I think Martin Stowers found the show by sniffing out the colour of the pumpkin. And Liz Gentry, hello, Lisa, beg your pardon, says you can put the pumpkin in a small amount of water, skin side down, and roast it in the oven. Keeps more of the flavour. And she's saying hello from Canada.
Oh, well, wonderful.
Hello, Lisa. This is marvellous.
Sorry about the noise.
So, what is this the zizzing process? This is the zizzing going on in the background.
Yeah, sorry about that. Oops.
Apparently, James DeWill says that in Asia, pumpkin seeds are bought in packets as snacks.
Yeah.
Here as well.
Here as well.
Oh, and here as well, okay.
Yeah.
I think James DeWill is in Asia, that's where he's based at the moment.
I'm going to throw in some things together and that. Do you want to get the camera on that? I don't know.
Yes.
Right, so, okay, here we go. Camera on for throwing in.
Can you see? Yes.
Oh yeah, look at that, that looks
So
absolutely
that's the pumpkin
amazing.
whizzed up. So what I'm going to pop in first is the sugar. There goes the sugar.
Very nice.
Look at that. Okay, then we go throw the cream in. Eggs.
So you're sort of putting about, in terms of a ratio of those all seem like a quarter of the main.
Yeah, I've got all the measurements. I mean, that's all going to go up on my website.
Right.
2 spoonfuls of ginger, 1 of nutmeg, or 1 of mace, sorry, and 1 of nutmeg. That's the nutmeg there.
Fantastic.
Brilliant. Then give it a bit of a stir,
Ooh.
which I should really do in something bigger. Let's see if I've got any. I've got a small spoon now. That's better. Yeah, I'll do it.
Ooh, look at that. Doesn't that look nice? It looks lovely on camera.
But it's going to change to a nice orange colour in a minute once all that cream's been mixed. And there you go.
Oh,
So-
right, so it's absorbing all of the pumpkin.
Yeah, look how the orange. It's
Oh, wow.
it's really nice and orangey.
That's amazing.
It's good enough to eat in the morning.
Lovely.
Doesn't it?
Orangey soup.
That's right. Okay, so that's that. Try and get that mixed in properly. So next stage, I'm going to have to make some pastry.
Some pastry, okay. So, yeah, just so people know, I take the comment that, yeah, it's like the British road workers or the council workers. This is Paul's gig. He's doing the cooking and we're just asking and soliciting questions, really. So,
Whose idea was this anyway?
I think I suggested, could we do a...
Oh, so
Yeah.
Three of us, wasn't
I
it?
think the three of us kind of said it would be great to do something with a pumpkin. You had a pumpkin,
Yeah.
and I thought, let's do it live. So here we are. So yeah.
Perfect.
So pastry.
Pastry.
Now, some people, when I've listened to things like Women's Hour, or some of these cooking programs, some people get frightened about making pastry because they go out and buy it.
Yeah.
Is it as difficult as it seems?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Not if you just hold a few. There's a few tips I teach people when I'm teaching cookery, and once you know those, it's easy.
Right.
And the main thing is, especially when you're making the pastry, is to overmix it.
Don't over.
Yeah, people just spend ages pummeling
Well,
it
you
away.
always hear people kneading when they
Yeah, they
talk
don't
about-
need it. No, never need pastry. It's the
Oh,
worst
right.
thing, isn't it? It's just.
And you can make it batch up in advance and just leave it in the freezer. That's what I quite often do.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to get the pastry now.
Right, it's going to get the pastry. So is this pastry you've already pre-mixed?
Yeah.
So you would use butter. What are the main ingredients of making
Butter, flour, and water.
Butter, flour, and water, as simple as that.
Salt.
And a bit of salt, pinch of salt.
Pinch of salt.
So we will assume that you've done all that and you've mixed it all in.
Yeah. I mean, when I mixed it.
Show me a close up of the. There we go. I mean, most people know what pastry looks like, but it's nice to.
Of course.
Nice to see it.
Yeah. Well, some people don't.
Because the thing is, I remember when we shot the tarts one.
Yep.
You said it's quite nice to leave a few blobs of butter in it.
Exactly right. Yeah. It makes it flakier, really.
Does it?
Yeah.
It makes it flakier.
People was.
They try to get rid of every last.
Yeah, they try to get it for the last bit, and that's just not important. You can see actually if you look, there's a little bit of butter there. So I'm not worried about that at all. That's going to actually be good.
So those things they just add to the character
Exactly.
and I guess a bit of the flavour as well.
Yeah. exactly right. Now I've got a very small saucer somewhere that's exactly the right shape. I think it's that one, yeah, I think it's that one. I'll have another knife or something.
Oh, this is so you're using a saucer as your cutter?
Yeah, because I've not got the right size cutter yet to do it.
So if anybody out there happens to have a Georgian Regency cutter,
Show you what I need.
Show you what we need. You may have one. Have a rummage in your loft. Somebody somewhere may have it. Here we are.
Look around the car boots.
Yeah.
Find a bigger version of
Show
that.
that.
Oh, so hold it down, hold it still.
There we go. Look at that. Oh wow.
Beautiful, isn't it?
It looks like it's something out of a big cogged machine.
Or a torture.
Yeah, certainly. Certainly. Yeah, don't come
Torture
too
museum.
near my bald head with that. You could certainly heat that up and do some damage.
Yeah. Right, look at it. Okay.
So there we are. Look at this. Years of practice, just cutting around with the knife. Easy patterns.
See, when I do Dine Like a Servant, I have to make lots and lots of these all in, in the same afternoon very quickly.
I was going to say, did you do all the cooking
Yeah.
yourself for Dine?
Yeah, I had a help in the kitchen with Sue, the marvellous Sue, but
Yes.
apart from that, yes. Matt helped as well, actually.
And you had how many? 27, 26?
No, we 24 people came.
24 people, and it's just you catering for all of those.
Yep.
With the soup. The soup, by the way, was this beautiful chicken and rice or noodles. Well, I can't remember. No, noodles, isn't it?
It was.
One right there, Swiss soup meagre.
No, that's the top one. Underneath there's the
the Marie Antoinette. There we go. That's what it was.
Soup.
It was absolutely delicious. It was so tasty.
And I love the story. The story's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, now, the last meal that Marie Antoinette is alleged to have had before she met Madame Guillotine, and obviously, it doesn't really matter what you eat before you have your head chopped off. Because if you didn't like it, you're not going to bring it up, are you? Because you've got no orifice to bring it up in, so to speak. Yes. It's lowering the tone.
Right.
How many pies are you making?
I'm just doing 4.
4 pies. Fantastic, one each.
That's what we're here for, isn't
That's why it's live, ladies and gentlemen.
I need a bit of butter to butter. Can you get me grab a bit of butter out the fridge? Fabulous. I didn't bring it with me.
Fantastic. There we are. I'm going to have a look at some more questions.
Okay, sure.
As you do
Yeah,
that.
and I'll just finish off this. Some more patient here.
Elizabeth Houston says, good evening everyone. Got a bit held up, no worries. Mike Nichols has joined, Nikki Jess has joined. There are some weird and wonderful shapes and sizes and colours, says Linda Kane.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know to herself. Mark Selwood says, now we need is a Swede potato, onions and beef, and you can make Cornish pasty.
I could.
Yes. There's a recipe for a Regency Cornish pasty.
I'm sure there is actually. I mean, it's an old traditional way of cooking. So
the pasty was for the miners, wasn't it?
that's right.
Keep the miners warm, and the miners would keep the pasty warm.
So I think I think it's got 18th century origins, or maybe even earlier. Actually, I don't know. I'll have to check on that. I've not discovered the history of the Cornish pasty yet.
Oh, my understanding was because the crinkle was so they could hold it and eat it without getting all the cold out of it.
Oh yeah.
That's my understanding.
No, that's absolutely. I remember that bit. Yeah.
So if you've got any questions for Paul,
Yep.
now's your chance. Do ask those questions. Anything about historic food cooking, how he got it. How did you get into? There we are. I'll start with the question.
Yeah.
How did you get into historic cooking? I mean, obviously you must have loved cooking.
I love cooking. I mean,
Yeah.
that's where I started from. And then we basically the space we're in now is, you can see a fraction of it.
Yes.
We restored it with a whole team of us, and then the building or the room lay vacant. We didn't know what to do with it.
This room?
Yeah,
The kitchen room?
Yeah, and I thought, well, we have to cook in it, and that's how I started. Very gradually, we started cooking in it, and bit by bit, we've got equipment together. We have other ovens and sinks, which we didn't have before.
So you purposely go out and seek recipes from that period and think, can I make it?
Yeah.
Can I source some of the original ingredients or ingredients that you can get today? And
most importantly, will people eat it?
And will people eat it? Yeah.
So you do have to temper things.
So have you made stuff that you tried and thought, oh my goodness, this is disgusting?
Well, we did at Saturday. Did I tell you about that?
You told us about the soup that wasn't quite nice.
The soup just wasn't edible, so we had to change the soup about an hour before people turned up. Actually, it was all quite, it really was like that. wasn't pleasant at all. But we got there in the end, so we changed it. So some recipes basically don't work, and I should have tested it.
Yes.
I just thought that sounds
time,
okay.
though, it's time.
Well, I thought that sounds okay. I'll give that a go, and it really didn't work. So
In the past, you've shown us some of the books. Hannah Glass. Hannah Glass.
Yeah.
She's a well-known cook, chef of the period.
Yep.
Where was she?
A cookbook writer.
A cookbook writer, yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean they've actually tried it
No,
out.
indeed. Often they didn't. I mean, a lot of early recipes are just plagiarized from other books.
Oh right, and they've
So there's
never
a
really
lot of
tried.
copying going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you see the same recipe going down there's down the decades.
Gosh, and so do you know who Hannah Glass was? Was she British?
She was British. I can't remember all the details now. And basically, she had a husband who didn't. He gambled and things like that, so she had to make the money basically.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
With her writing.
With her writing, yeah, and she had to go out and make the money, which she did, and she managed to keep their family together because of that, and also had lots of children at the same time, which is quite incredible.
Yeah. Well, that's it. They did, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I suppose people were relying on recipes from books because how else would you get the information?
Well, yeah, in a way though. I mean, lots of the people that cooked at that time just passed things down from generation to generation. Right. Books started getting written, but it was mainly for upper classes. It didn't really filter down to other people until a lot later in the century.
Am I right in thinking that some French chefs came over in the Regency period to sort of improve the British diet because it was seen to be so awful? Is that partly right?
I mean, they were very trendy at the time. People wanted to have French chefs. It was sort of showing off,
Right.
If you had a French chef, it meant you had money and status, and you could afford one as well because they were expensive. So they were basically wealth signifiers, I suppose.
Yeah.
So there was a fashion for French food, but really amongst the upper classes, not so much below. I mean, if you have to imagine, most people were in absolute poverty.
Yes.
They were lucky to get a meal at all, let alone have a meal that was French.
So that is amazing. And I suppose like these days, different fashions for food would come in throughout different periods of the big banquets of the medieval periods, and then these are much more refined and more sophisticated.
Yes, I'd say that.
And I guess people are using more delicate cutlery and those sort of things, because you imagine back in the days of Henry VIII and things where they're just throwing the bones over the shoulders and eating with their fingers.
Well, they used to use bread as plates. Did you hear about that? Trenchers.
Oh right,
bread. Big bits of bread were used as plates. And so the gravy. It's a bit. Well, you see it some. There's some where they use the pancakes, and I can't remember it.
So like a Yorkshire pudding where you get a
filled pudding,
you kind of fill that up.
Yep, and you eat that afterwards as well. But it's a sort of way of containing your meal. Right.
Andy Dalglish says, "Hi Paul, is this the same recipe as the pumpkin tart that you cooked at Dine Like a Circus?"
Yes. Yes. Was he there?
Yes.
Oh right, brilliant.
Yes, he was.
Did you like it?
Did you like it, Andy?
Yeah, Andy was sitting with us.
Yeah.
You got photos?
Yeah. So Andy was sitting with us. Hi, nice to see you, Andy. Yeah, it's the same recipe.
Yeah.
obviously fresher. Well, it's not yet cooked, of course.
Elizabeth Howson asks, what did people eat for breakfast in the late 18th century?
Oh, okay. It depends who you were, of course, because some people didn't have any breakfast at all.
Right.
But if you go up to the upper classes, they would have a whole range of things like fruit loaves and fruit bread, baked goods, all sorts. I mean, basically everything. I mean,
so the sort of breakfast that we have these days with the cereal and milk and toast and stuff, that they wouldn't have had any of that.
No,
it would be very different.
It's very different, yeah.
Yeah.
Cereals came back as a way of using up the waste from corn.
Cereal was
a waste product turned into something edible in a way of cornflakes.
Oh right, was it?
Yeah.
And was that the invention of people like Mr. Kellogg's? Because he's been going around for a long time.
Yeah. He literally saw this waste corn and he wanted a way to try and make it. Everything all right?
Have we got a technical problem?
Yeah, is that?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It goes dark. It does go dark. All right. Yeah. Sorry about that. We thought we'd lost the signal, ladies and gentlemen, but we haven't lost the signal.
Are we still alive?
Some people are having issues with this thing, so I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't us.
Yeah. No, we're fine.
Good. Sorry about that.
Well done. No. So, right, what's going on? What are you up to now, Paul?
I've just finished the pie cases, basically.
All right. So, what do you do with the pie cake? Do you cook them first? And
No,
then,
surprisingly not. No, we just put the liquid straight into these pie cases.
Oh, okay.
And bake them like they are. So, do you want to catch this?
Let's
actually?
catch this.
See if I can do it. Oh, let's just check.
Dan Thompson says, did they have oatmeal in the 18th century?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. Absolutely. Can you see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
So I try and fill them up as much as we can.
So I noticed a couple of lumps went in there. That's all part of the pumpkin, though, isn't it?
It is part of the
Presumably.
pumpkin. I was supposed to liquidise that really, well.
And how would they have liquidised things like that? We're just.
Oh, well, if Julia wants to hand that thing over, that great big thing behind you there,
Which bit of thing?
the white thing with the.
The tureen?
No, it's the pestle and mortar there.
Oh, by pestle and mortar.
Pestle and mortar, yeah.
Oh, right. So, gosh, that would have been hard work, wouldn't it?
I know. So that's how they would have done it. You know, they're heavy as well, aren't they? Yeah.
Yep.
Gosh, that's the size of your head. Wow. That's
So, yeah.
amazingly big. Yeah, nobody would want to be mixing. Blimey. That's like a cudgel.
Second one I was thinking, all round his back.
Yeah, oh yeah, round his back.
Yeah, I mean it's massive, isn't it? You don't see them.
Meaty, meaty. It's a chunky, hefty thing. Ooh. Try not to break it.
Well, I have to say, they look divine, don't they?
So that's before they go in the oven. So I'm going to pop these in the oven now,
Okay.
and these will take about half an hour.
Oh.
Take that back.
Yeah.
Take an hour.
Take an hour, ladies and gentlemen. So, just put your feet up for a moment, and we're going to try and weave the magic of television, of the internet, of video. Whatever. Are you having a bit of a fight? Are you having a...
Which one have you seen?
Oh, you're taking your feet up. Oh, there we are. We're waiting an hour. I'll just pace up and down like this. Oh dear. Pace.
Not fast enough,
Pace.
not fast enough. That's it.
Oh dear. So, but we don't really have to wait for an hour.
No.
Because you cooked some earlier.
I did. What time? I mean, is it time to get them out or?
What? Well, it must be.
How are we doing
on
for
this.
time?
We've got 20 minutes. 20 minutes left of the show. So we've got plenty of time. Let's see if there's any other questions coming in.
Right, brilliant. I can clean up with it.
So whilst you're sorting out, I've never tasted pumpkin. They sure look good, says Mark Selwood. My stream has got better, which is Mark again. Stool ball, if you're in Sussex, surely an old English game. Stool ball. Dan Thompson says that
I think it means pestle.
pestle would make an awesome
Guacamole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. They need to, they're so versatile. I love roasted pumpkins, says Matthew Holdsworth, and pumpkin pie and chutneys. The lovely Stuart Douch has joined. Hello, Stuart Douch. Will there be whipped cream on the top?
I did serve, as you know, I served whipped cream with the pumpkin tarts and the chocolate tarts. For
You did, yes.
And
It was, and it really offset.
Yeah.
Especially the chocolate, because the chocolate was so rich. It just needed that little something, didn't it?
Yeah,
Do
definitely.
come more forward. What we should tell you, ladies and gentlemen, whilst the cooking process is going on. So, I've got some larking about going on here.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Richard grew the pumpkin.
I did.
How long does it take to grow a pumpkin?
Not all that long. I sowed the seeds in about April time, the end of April, and they went into the ground end of May. It was a little late actually getting them into the ground, and end of
So
September.
you plant the seeds straight into the ground, not into a little
No,
pot?
I start mine in a pot in the potting shed, but you can do it in the ground. That's
Right.
easy. You know, that's how it happens in nature.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it can happen.
But sometimes it helps it along, does it, by putting it in a potting shed, because that's taking away predators and
Yes.
elements of wind and fire.
Control the
Fire.
environment.
Yeah.
Weather.
Well,
Weather.
You say fire. There are some seeds out there that need to blast a fire to grow.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Are they like Australian ones or places where forest fires
Yeah,
happen
yeah.
naturally?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting.
Very interesting.
So the other thing is that the lovely Julia here is just starting her own allotment, and regular viewers will have seen the work that's been going on there, that Mr. Suggett has helped. I've done a little bit, but it's coming on really well.
Yeah.
And
Very well.
after this winter season next year, you're particularly interested in trying to grow some heritage veg.
Oh, fantastic.
So, good question for Paul then is, what heritage veg can you not get that we could try growing for you?
Yeah, good one. There's some really nice beetroot, yellow beetroots, because I've tried those.
Yellow
as well.
beetroots.
Yeah. And there's some rainbow ones as well, different
Yes.
colours, aren't there?
Yeah. Trouble with rainbow ones, when you cook them, they all go one colour.
Okay.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rainbow
So
veg.
they look
It's
nice in a
still-
salad, just
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still
Oh,
look
right.
good as they're growing.
Yeah.
Yes. And carrots, of course, all the different colours you can get carrots would be really fun.
I've seen purple carrots. Can you
Yeah.
get other colour carrots?
You
That's-
can get the pale
Paler,
ones.
Yeah.
paler colours.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen those as well.
Oh, okay.
And what else? Oh, there's all these other things I want, but it's going to take you a bit longer. Some medlars and
Medlars.
Yeah.
What is a medlar?
damsons.
Well, damsons you can find in the wild.
Yeah, yeah.
A medlar is kind of like an apple, but apple quince type thing.
Oh, okay. So you need to grow a bush that
Yeah.
it will grow.
They are
Funny
big
that you
trees.
mentioned medlar though, because I didn't know what it was, and now I know what it is. But Shirley Ward has hers in a pot in her garden, and Mr. Fox keeps digging it out. She was telling me today she was having to clean it all up and.
So did you get many
boulders
medlars
in
on a
top.
bush?
You can. I've never actually grown them. I've only seen them in.
So Shirley, if you're watching and you've got any spare
Oh,
medlars,
that would be incredible. Yeah.
Paul Couchman wants to do something with it. See, this is what I love about the whole fact that we're using the internet and social media and all of that, is that you guys might have a question and Paul can answer it, but you guys might have some access to a vegetable or something that we can then do something and make something and show you. I mean, that's the beautiful thing, which you can't do with television. You know, this is we're touching real people. That's what I find so
Real
exciting.
TV with real people.
With real, yeah,
Real
we're all
people.
amateurs, really. You know, that's the great thing.
So I've got time to talk about pickles, haven't I?
Yes, tell us about pickles.
We've got them all lined up at the back now.
Bring some over here and we'll put them on the pickle can.
Yeah, I mean, I've made a mess here, obviously.
Oh, don't worry.
Take away some of the flour.
There we are. We'll set up the pickle can and you can tell us all about them. It's funny, that can's getting its lots of different names. Pickle can.
Yeah.
Bit wonky.
I just.
Oh,
Right,
they look very nice, don't they? They look like they've got their own little turbans on.
They do, yeah. That's we have a volunteer called Jilly who I started displaying them, and she said, "Oh, that's all wrong," and she got the fabric and did them her way.
Wow, they do look nice though.
They do look nice. She works in retail, so she's got a good. Some of them don't have labels on.
That's Piccalilli.
That's Piccalilli. I mean, I've got two. Shall I go for the Piccalilli first?
Yes, please.
Two forms of Piccalilli. So this one has less turmeric in it. It's a bit of a more old-fashioned recipe.
It looks
So-
nice. doesn't
Yeah.
it?
I mean, I've had good reports back about that one, so that's really nice. And then we've gone for the more Victorian Piccalilli here as well, which is a lot more yellow. It's got mustard powder in it as opposed to mustard seed in that one, so it's yellow, and a lot more turmeric and some sugar in it as well. So it's a lot more like the Piccalilli that you see in the shops. It's a lot nicer. It's been a lot nicer.
Yes.
It's a lot crunchier as well.
And it hasn't got. I guess it hasn't got all the preservatives
No,
and all the
of
other
course not.
nonsense.
No, of course not. There's nothing in it. We put fruit in it, which is nice. It's got peaches in it.
Peaches.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Well, the recipe calls for things like apples or plums. You can put all sorts of things in it. So it's got cauliflower, obviously. and it's
Is
got
that the
onions.
same recipe that we filmed the video that where you made
This
the
one
piccalilli?
actually, this is from the first filming.
Let's have a look at
That one there. This piccalilli is the one we made for the film.
Oh right, yes. And internet, if you haven't seen the film, I mean it's on your website.
It's on my website.
It's on the Bald Explorer in the video section. Check it out. It's also on YouTube as well. So just put piccalilli.
So that's the piccalilli. This one we've been making. I've been doing a course in pickling. So I've taught people how to pickle, and we did piccalilli, but also did pickled peaches, which are incredible. Really very tasty.
I did at your dine, like I said, you had pickled grapes.
Oh yeah, which
I know Julia found them quite too much, too strong.
They were tasty. I wanted to like them more, but it was just a little too much.
I adored them. Look at them there. Oh, pickled grapes, they were delish. I have to say, but and it's just vinegar. It's just basically it's just in vinegar.
Vinegar, sugar, spices.
Yeah. Well,
and they go straight in the hot vinegar and then preserved that way. Yeah.
Debbie Martin says we've got a medlar tree. It's been
wow.
affected by the very hot summer, but if it survives, I'll pick some medlars next year.
Okay, that's something to look forward to.
There we go. That's fantastic.
Elizabeth Housden's asking, she has a fig tree and a mulberry tree. What do you think she could make out of those fruits?
Oh, pickled figs are incredible because I did those last year for Dark 7. Pickled figs are amazing.
Cool.
And it looks so pretty in the jar as well because the pickle turns slightly purple. Yeah. And if you cut through them as well, you see you know how beautiful the figs look anyway when they cut through.
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful present for people as well. It's great for Christmas.
So pickle the figs and what about the mulberries?
I haven't done anything with mulberry jam. Again, mulberry jam, I guess.
Yeah.
It's soft fruit,
jam.
Yeah, soft fruit, yeah. Although,
or jelly. I mean, I'm testing out jellies now as well. Because do you have a jelly? Have you heard about the jelly bags?
Yeah.
So you put the fruit in, and you have to put a broom handle, and you tie this sort of bag above a bowl and let it drip. And you're not supposed to stir it or anything or touch it.
You've got to let it overnight.
That's right.
If you push it through, it goes
cloudy. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I'd love to try that out. I'd love the idea of all these bags on top of these broom handles. It looks very beautiful in the kitchen.
Certainly some of our viewers would love to buy. They're saying they'd like to buy some of your pickles.
How may they do so?
They're £3.50 and we have loads of them. And we make new ones every week.
You don't do postal order, I'm guessing.
I can work something out.
Yes. So there we are. So get in touch with Paul Couchman at the Regency Town House or on your Facebook page.
I've got it's the Regency Town House's Facebook page, which I manage.
So just to go through.
Matthew says if you're coming to the meetup, you could bring some to sell there.
Oh, that's a lovely idea. Yes.
Are you
when
going?
is the meetup? I don't know.
It's on the 22nd of September.
In Liss.
It's a fair old trek.
I would check. If I'm available, I'd definitely come. That's a really good idea. Just bring a box.
Bring a whole box,
It's a lovely idea, actually.
Yeah. Well done, Matthew.
Get a free ride on a steam engine. A traction engine.
Who could turn that down?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
And just before, hold that thought. And just to remind everybody, the 22nd of September is the Bald Explorer meetup, and we're meeting in Liss. The details are on the Bald Explorer group page. And we'll post them again in the notes of this later on when it goes up, when the notes get bunged up. So thank you, Matthew, for that. Sorry, Rich.
That's all right. Just the fig person who was asking about figs, a few ideas I've had is fig jam.
Fig jam.
Fig jam, that's lovely. And roasted figs with honey and nuts.
Yes.
Roasted figs, honey and nut. Figs have stones, don't they?
No, because they're a flower. They're at the beginning of a flower.
Oh, right. They're unlike dates and prunes and all of those, they don't have a big stone in the middle.
I should have something to show you now, but I don't.
Oh, right.
So you can eat the whole thing, especially when you
spray off a tree.
And doesn't it have pips, like an apple?
It's the beginning of a flower.
Right.
I mean, they're a funny one because they flower the wrong way round.
Okay, I'll go with that.
There's another recipe I found. You can roast them in the oven with some basil in a sort of sauce. And you drip that over them and roast them in the oven.
Oh, wow.
And they look beautiful, just whole, completely whole. And they sort of shrivel up a bit and they look so pretty.
Oh, amazing.
It's amazing pudding.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, there we are. That's another one to fill.
I have two questions for you. The first one from Kevin Hall. He says, have you got anything with reduced or no sugar?
I would have to think about that. It's
Did
a really
they
good
like their
point.
sugar, the Regency?
When you pickle, I mean, we're talking about the pickles, you sort of need it to counterbalance the acid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bitterness.
I will have a think about that. It's a good question. I mean, not in the recipes I've seen, but I can probably adapt something.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a good thing because I'm often done like a servant. I have to cater to people's dietary requirements.
Yeah.
And things like that are always a good challenge. So I always quite like
right.
thinking about that.
Because if you didn't use sugar, it would just be too.
Yeah, but there are
acid.
other things we could do. It's
Right.
an interesting one. Okay.
And question number 2 comes from Steve Pilfold. Does Paul ever stop smiling?
That's really nice, actually.
Yeah.
I thought I was being really serious today.
No,
That's
not
good.
at all. No. You're a happy, smiley worker.
Good.
And the third point for me is that we've got like 6 minutes till the
Oh,
hour.
okay.
Oh right, okay. We better get some pies out of the oven.
Wait up
Or
again.
tarts.
Okay. Right.
They're kind of tarts, but they're called pies, aren't they? They're
Topless pies, aren't they?
open pies.
Yeah.
Topless
That's it,
pies.
open pies.
pies. And straight out the oven, ladies and gentlemen. That hour went so
You can
fast.
see them steaming, can't you?
Let's get the camera, the hot cam as James will like to
They look nice, yeah.
There we go. Look at that. Absolutely amazing. And it's quite nice with those little sort of almost burnt patches.
Yeah.
Because it gives it that real look of.
It's the sugar.
It's the sugar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Makes it tasty.
Brown.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's a bit like a creme brulee. If you think about creme brulee.
Oh yeah. So
And
that
it's
sort
that-
of
yeah.
gives it a bit of a toffee type of
Exactly.
extra
Yeah, you get
texture.
this really good taste. I'm going to cut one in half just so you can see the.
Oh yes, please do.
It's got like
Fantastic.
big plates in there.
If, ladies and gentlemen, you've enjoyed this sort of thing and you would like us to do more, do suggest them. So really just email, and if you've got suggestions for that sort of thing, it's great. I can collate them all in an email. Sorry, back to you.
Okay.
So,
I suppose we should go in for a close-up. We'll have this beautiful little sauce.
yeah, we've got our
No, this-
cam. Can
hopefully
you
this
just
goes-
move the cam a bit closer? Sorry.
Hopefully this goes okay. Oh yes, that goes okay.
Wow.
Is it good?
You hear that
Yeah.
crack,
Yeah,
can't you?
cracking and crunching, all very fresh.
Let's just see what that looks like. Oh, that looks really pretty.
Oh, doesn't that look lovely? Of course, in real life, this is only on a webcam, this particular, the close-up cam, so the detail isn't brilliant, but even so,
Oops.
that's
Back a bit.
that's looking delish.
There. That's it.
And would you serve them hot, or would you let them cool when you...
I've let them cool. I think it's nicer.
Yeah.
They get a bit more solid as well. That seems quite a nice flake there as well. Just looking through the different layers of pastry, it seems okay. Yeah.
Superb. Well, they smell gorgeous,
Yeah,
don't they?
They look pretty, don't they? That's nice.
They do look pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Oh, we did it in the time.
We've done it in the time, ladies and gentlemen. So,
Amazing.
And they've called.
are they cool?
Yeah.
Do we get to sample them?
Of course.
He's going to say, no, of course not. I'm taking them home.
Oh dear, I've got so many to take home. So
Fantastic, look at that.
let's cut them into quarters.
Yeah, that's really good. But thank you so much for letting us come to your kitchen.
Oh, it's wonderful, Dan.
It's
Yeah,
been
wonderful.
fun, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has
It's
been
been fun.
It's gone really quick, actually.
And it had, well, this is the thing of the shows, that hour, it
Yeah.
goes incredibly fast. So, Julia, Richard,
Richard.
Richard.
and me, and Paul. Well, I'm going to tuck in
Yeah,
for
I'm
a
gonna
piece
try.
over there.
Let's try and see what it tastes like.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you so much for watching.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, it's
It's
so
quite crispy.
creamy, and it's that combination of
Yeah.
beautiful creamy texture and then that crispy shell on the outside.
That's quite well.
Beautifully cooked, beautifully made. Delicious. You're missing out, ladies and gentlemen. You really are. You have various events coming up, but you've sold out on all of them.
Yeah.
So, although, you know, it's great to promote them, but actually you can't come. But what sort of events do you, just for those that don't know, what sort of events do you have here?
Well, there is one coming up that we haven't sold out because I haven't put it on sale yet.
Okay.
So we have the wonderful Zach Vincent, who you interviewed back
Oh, yeah, Zach.
a few months ago.
That's right. He's the guy who dresses in no modern clothes himself
Yep.
and makes Regency costumes.
So he'll be together with Alexander Loska, who is curator at the Royal Pavilion in Brighton.
Wow.
And they'll be doing a double act. So she'll be talking about Regency interiors, and he'll be talking about what Regency men wore. So that promises to be very interesting evening.
Absolutely.
And they're both absolutely lovely people. So, and
They are. Well, I don't know the other chap, but I know Zach is very personable, and you know, he knows his stuff, and he when he walks into the room, it's so elegant anyway, because he wears all this stuff, and he wears these beautiful hats, and it's all handmade.
And of course, he was at Dine Like a Servant as well, wasn't
Yeah.
he?
Shame we couldn't get to talk to him a bit more. But
Yeah, it was on a different table, but
Yeah.
that's
coming up. I mean, our Halloween events, we have 2 Halloween events, which, as you said, are both completely sold out. But they will be wonderful. It's worth going on the waiting list if people want to, try and get a ticket. But
so to find out more about the Regency Town House, you have a website, you have a Facebook page. I guess if you put Regency Town House into Google, it'll come up, and into Facebook and or
Twitter and Instagram.
Or Twitter and Instagram. So there you go. So it's so easy. You always don't need to say these things anymore because people can just find out. But people are lazy. They still like clickable links.
Yeah.
But that was absolutely brilliant. Have you enjoyed it? And do you want us to do more of this sort of thing? Because I think we would like to do more.
Debbie Martin says, "Well done, BE team, great show."
Brilliant.
Elizabeth Houston says, "Yum." Kevin Hall says, "Excellent job to you all." Dave Baker says, "We need smell-o-vision."
Yes, you do. You're missing it.
Taste-o-vision,
Taste-o-vision, that's right.
Maya says, "Well done all." And Malcolm Glacier says, "Bake Off, eat your heart out."
Ah, that's really nice.
Oh,
Well-
Mark Selwood says, "Great show tonight, guys." So
My next challenge, at some point, what I would love to do is to have a bit of a studio audience.
Oh, that's a nice idea.
And have a couple of cameras, we're just building this up, and it would be great to have, say 10, 12 people in the studio audience who would come to an event. We would film something like this, perhaps over an hour and a half or 2 hours or whatever it is, and do a number of things, and so we can have people in the audience asking questions and maybe taking part. And
we can have audience reaction.
Yeah, we can
cards.
have cards, applause, laugh,
We could feed
boo.
them. We could feed them.
And we can feed them.
Yeah.
I went to a theatre thing years ago, and there were 3 guys, and they made soup, and it was choreographed, the chopping and it was ballet, preparing food, but at the end, and you could smell it as it was being prepared, which was amazing. And then they came round and they fed the audience.
That's brilliant.
And it was absolutely fantastic. So, we could do something like that.
That would be incredible.
It would be good. So there you go. Loads of ideas. But, ladies and gentlemen, we've run out of time. We've run out of time. So thank you, Paul. It's been absolutely brilliant. Oh, we've loved it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thanks to Richard for providing the pumpkin, which was superb. Check him out on the Veg Grower podcast. To the lovely Julia, who's been looking after the comments and operating the pumpkin cam. And from me, the Bald Explorer, thank you so much. Do tune in. The next show will be on the Vobes show if you want to join in. It'll be probably just me on my own doing something on Friday. So thank you very much and goodbye. Goodbye. Take care, one and all, and thanks for coming. He's got to find the end caption. Where is it? There it is. There we go.
Keep waving.
Keep waving.